what it is to take to make one character more despicable than the other. Well, how about confirming a timeline where that person perhaps never met the child and the other person always managed to look good because they reveal more of the timeline where his accomplishment comes from or when it takes place, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter so long you make the other guy look terrible. It's all good in games. Granted, maybe that person doesn't know what he's doing or what she's doing, but maybe they do, and maybe they're despicable for it. I don't know. You figured out where I'm even coming from with that. This is episode 32 of Sparda's World Podcast. Your host again is Sparda 3G, and it's Friday. It's Good Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Gonna need a rest. What am I doing in terms of anime and manga? Believe it or not, I'm doing Gintama. Yep, I am reading, watching Gintama. Oh, it's a long journey going all the way from episode 1 to 200, whatever it is, 286, 284, I don't even know. But we'll catch up. Give me time. I have been done other series as well, but I'll let you know what could it be and what are they in the future. And don't forget, I'm about to start off my anime manga review in a very, very short while. So this should be interesting for me to do. If you perhaps hear something in the background just now, that is because this is a live recording aspect of mine. So there is no sound barrier. If you hear some alarm, if you hear a dog barking, well, you know it's live. But let's not talk about that. Let's get to some news. And not so much of a groundbreaking news, but there are some news to talk about. Such as Attack on Titan live action movie trailer number 3 is out. Is perhaps the longest one if I recall. It has a lot of things and a lot of changes. The director himself actually mentioned that there's going to be a lot of changes in the series. It's not the series, the movie. And, starting with Eren Yeager, the protagonist of Attack on Titan, he's not a guy who's thirsty for revenge or hell-bent to kill all Titans. Instead, this one is more a sympathetic version of himself, which is not a bad take, which is not a bad thing. Is gonna, I guess the fan has to realize there's gonna be a lot of changes, and I don't mind that. It doesn't have to be the exact. Now it does beg the question: why still call Attack on Titan? You may have to still see the movie in order to find out why it can distance itself into his own franchise, his own movie, his own project. I mean, from the trailer, there's still a good amount of Attack on Titan. There's no lesser amount that doesn't say this should not be called Attack on Titan. You gotta do some little different takes. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't really make a bad difference. Unless the movie itself is bad, who knows? But stuff like that changes. No levy, yeah. I wonder how many fangirls are gonna be so upset to hear that. But seriously though, there's a lot of changes. But it can't be. It doesn't have to be that bad, or it may not be bad at all. Maybe it's a good changes. Hell, maybe it be changes that says should have been an actual series. But who knows? Maybe that tease of a kiss scene. I don't know if it was actually Eren and Mikasa, but it could be someone else. But maybe they would be like, okay, maybe you should put this in manga before I riot. Oh, who knows? It's up to different opinions. I'm going to check it out myself. Will I see it in the theaters? Maybe. I'll think about it. So, yeah. The trailer looks neat for what it is. It looks neat. I don't expect some 500. I don't expect like $180 million budget or something. Whatever the budget may be. For what it is, doesn't look bad. Yeah, I'll check it out myself one day. Speaking of strange changes, well, not changes, but more like a strange take. Hiro Mashima. Yes, the guy who does Fairy Tail. The guy who did Rave, or Rave Master for English. he decided he wanted to do a Parasite one shot. Yeah, Parasite. You know, that seinen manga. that that very old manga that finally got adapted in a retelling way. I think it's retold. I'm not sure. But yeah, he decided to do a one-shot manga based on Parasite. And I think it's going to use the universe of Fairy Tail. So, it's a strange mix. I mean, I don't mind for something like this. If they want to have fun, go, so be it. I mean, it seems like Mashima is a fan of this work. Good for him. Just it never crossed my mind a Parasite and Fairy Tail, you know? And it seems like that is going to be the case. I mean, the teaser says, a Parasite approaches a peaceful guild, and that was it. Oh, of course I'll check it out, just a huge curiosity. Then again, I do read the series, so why not anyway? That should be interesting in a odd way. Would it be good? Would it be bad? Who knows? Just let it be. Let him have fun. And he's not the only guy. There's actually other people that does it before. Which, to be honest, I didn't even know myself. But, yeah, there's other people that did it. So, good. Would I be that interested? Come on, it's free. So, anyway. I hope you guys have enjoyed your anime season so far. Hopefully there's some good ones. I'm hearing good things from Gangsta. I don't know about anything else, to be honest. I heard some disappointing on some other anime, but what can you do? It's just how it is. We got the continuation series such as Soma, the Sokugeki no Soma, which, by the way, is going to have his own Anime Fest. It's, well, more like an event anime at this year Jump Special Anime Festa Tour. I like the fact that it's getting exposure, and it really deserve more exposure. It really deserves more people to know the series, and pretty much, you start selling well. I mean, the volumes is increasing, not a lot though, unfortunately. But not all series could be a heavy hitter. And even if they're not heavy hitter, that doesn't mean they're bad, or that doesn't mean they're not so good, whatever. A lot of great series can be a low ranking seller. It cannot, a lot of great series could be just a normal amount of number, like, just pretty much 200,000, and that'll be it. Call it a day. Berserk, I don't recall it ever hit 1 million per week, or like a first week would be 1 million sold, or like a second week even. Even Akatsuki no Yona is a really good series too, but it doesn't do a huge amount of selling. Usually the amount of selling comes from the main magazine, the weekly Shonen Jumps, the one that Fairy Tail and Seven Deadly Sins is coming from. And those exposure really helps them. So that's the case. But for Soma, I'm happy they're gonna get that much exposure, and hopefully it will increase a lot. Just I can't say I'm a big fan to go to that kind of event, especially if you know Soma series, how it works. Yeah. So good for them, I guess. I'm not sure if I want to go there, especially. I said too much. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your anime season so far. Because, fall, I guess are we halfway there? Maybe not. But we're getting close to the fall, and I'm still looking forward to fall a lot. Especially that now it's confirmed that OnePunch-Man anime is going to be premiered in October. I really can't wait for that. That's probably my number one anticipation for fall season. Yeah, I know there's a lot of good ones too, but this one is so much anticipated for me. I really can't I really can't wait to see if Madhouse can pull it. This is one series that's really hard to try to pull it off. I mean, I just know I can't expect perfect art, the same art design that this series in the original manga series. Well, not too original. We're not talking about the guy that the one did it himself in terms of art. I'm talking about the other guy. No offense, the Muratov edition. God, his art is great. Is phenomenal. But anyway, I just want to see how Madhouse can pull it off. I don't even know if they could pull it off. The animation, I think I should be safe with that. Then again, I should not be 100% confident. You never know. Maybe they will have a little budget, and maybe they will not put a lot into One Punch Man, which would be asinine, to be honest with you, because this is the series that needs the great amount of budget. It needs to be well produced, productive. It just has to be spot on for anime wise. I don't expect the art to be the exact same thing, but if the art captures the most of it, I'll be incredibly mind blown. It's that hard. It's really hard to capture that, but it doesn't have to be the exact, but it has to be great. It has to be, some. Don't make us say, my goodness, it looks horrible. My goodness, is unbearable. It's the same, like I Shear 21. I like this anime, but I'll be lying if I wish it had a better adaptation, let alone the fact that, it's stretched out like it's like one of those long series, which really makes it, which took too many time. But yeah, with One Punch Man, I'm pulling a lot of hope on this one. So much hope. My anticipated series for fall 2015. I just can't wait for this one. I still cannot wait for the manga volume edition come out, which is coming up this September. I'm talking about the United States release. It's coming in this September, as well as coming 2 volumes in one day. So I'm getting both of them for sure, because I really like the series a lot. I know there's this original one. I do catch up on those. I always still like to go back with the Murata edition, because his artwork is fantastic, and the anime, I just can't wait. I don't even know how far they will go. I don't want to spoil it here, but from the character art, the casting, it's surprising that it's going a little bit further than I initially thought, because I thought it would end on a great note. Now it's going to end somewhere that I don't really know. I hope they end in a great note, because this one arc is like a crazy over the top action with a crazy art design. It's so insane. I thought it would end it there. I don't even want to spoil from here, but you just have to read it. It's so many good writings. The jokes hits home run every time. It's really good. It's such a damn good series. So yes, October is coming. October, that I cannot wait. And now we're done with One Punch Man. A superhero somewhat manga. Let's get to the review, and that will go to the actual another series that's pretty much a superhero too. But this one is all about the academies, and that's Boku no Hero Academia. So let's get to the review. You know what will make me happy? An announcement for Boku no Hero Academia anime. Why? Well, 2 things. 1, exposure. I want people to know about this series more, because they have to rely on anime, which is normal. Yeah, it's normal when you think about it, because you need something visual in order for everybody to get interested in original source. Same thing for, you could argue with like the irony with Marvel movies. Hey, Spider-Man, I want to see more Spider-Man. Well, then here's a comic book for you. Enjoy. Even though that would be like, I don't even know what issue, but you know what I mean. So for this series, I do wish it has an anime for exposure's sake. And not only that, I need an opening to fill in the blank in order to let you guys know I'm about to review a Boku no Hero Academia chapter. So in this case, we're in chapter 52, and the reason why I even said this, minus the latter, is because I thought this chapter was very solid. It was really it got me so entertained. It got me so hooked from the beginning to the end. I really liked the visual, the art, the way how you could see Deku being so like he's so heroic yet at the same time so afraid. It has that fear in that one expression of determined and fear. And you know the whole intimidation coming from hero killer Stein. You know, with that close up and you know just that face of his that even though he you know when it comes to heroes it has to be heroes that are truly worth being called hero, and if those who not they should just perish. But just the look of him, it's just you know I more and more I appreciate the art. I remember beginning I wouldn't say I didn't appreciate the art from the beginning. It's more like I did like it, but I wonder how much can it go in terms of the antique, the technique that I say antique. Sorry, the technique that the mangaka can provide for this series. It's something that could really be not only for what you call those eye candy, but just something that makes it helps illustrate the display of emotion and the display of the atmosphere of the series contain. And so far it has been doing that such a great job. And you know, I give it credit to this guy. He's no the mangaka. He's no you know, he's not new to this. This is not his first series ever. But you know, I guess in terms of Jump series, it'd probably be the first. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know he has a one shot. I do know he has one other series. I don't think it was in a jump, if I recall correctly. But yeah, this chapter was really solid. I really enjoyed this one from beginning to the end, despite the fact that it did feel a bit quick. You know, it was no Bleach. It's not Bleach quick. But it was faster paced due to the part that the showcase of an action, the choreograph of this chapter that provided from Deku against Stein. You know, it's not like Bleach. Bleach, they waste a lot of panel, but more of a same usual one slash after another. This one is more like different movement and different techniques to provide in order to, you know, something that makes sense to the series, as in what according to the plan. You know, when something that's actually fresh and something that's a little bit new than the other's time. Because, you know, with Bleach, it always seems like you're always going to get the usual big explosion, slash, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying every series needs to have strategies, but, you know, sometimes if you're going to waste a panel, do something new with it. Don't make it look like it's the same old from the past chapters or the past episodes. Depends the way how you take it. So in this one, I really enjoyed this because, you know, this is the first time we see Deku using One for All in his entire body. Even though he's not 100% ready, it's still, you know, it's still worth to see. Anyway, we should get to the chapter itself. So before we get to the real meat and potato, we pretty much get to see how Deku, you know, his train of thought while going after Eden and, you know, Stein location. He's explaining how he managed to figure out where he would end up going, and he realized that, you know, pretty much, you know, I'm gonna call him Tenya for now, even though I do believe he changed his name to his brother's Ingrium. But I'm going to call him Tenya until he officially confirmed it. Because I'm going to start using these hero names. So just remember that. But anyway, that could pretty much recall the entire thing. And, you know, at least it's nice enough for him. Nice enough for the mangaka to tell us that how Deku pretty much find out where Stein most likely going to be, as well as Tenya. Especially he already connected the dot, but the whole Tenya, he's the one that end up going after him, not like Stein captured him, or rather, you know, Tenya got lost. It's pretty obvious to him that he knows where Stein and Tenya will be at, which he found the jackpot. So that's you could say that's like a flashback, even though we never really have that scene, but you could say that's like 20 minutes earlier scene. And then we finally get to see them confrontation, and, you know, they found him And Tenya pretty much cannot do anything since he pretty much got caught by the quirk, which I should get some explanation here. I kind of don't understand it a little bit because it feels like maybe this translation is maybe it was too ambiguous, but I'll let you know what I'm talking about when we get to that part. So pretty much Deku see the scenery and he sees that he sees Stein, he sees Tenya on the ground, he sees another hero who needed of help. So, and because of this is Tenya revenge, he doesn't want Deku to get in his way, and you could tell his expression, he's still driven by vengeance, this hatred of Stein. And Deku is like can't believe what he's hearing, but this is Tenya, this is just how he is. Yeah, again, this is not what a hero should do. Like even Stein said it himself, which is baffling to have a villain to even tell you about that, how heroes should be acting or what should not be acting. And pretty much Deku sensed the sense of fear from coming from he has that fear going all over his body, because this is not only the first time he's going against Stein, but he also going against a villain that's hell-bent to kill things. That is going to kill a murderer. He's seeing the point of view of a murderer. This is not a villain. This is not a villain that would just take you to prison. This is not a villain that would just beat you down and use you as a hostage. There's not a villain that's actually simulated from like a test or something like that. This is an actual villain that will murder the person, that will murder any hero, anybody getting his way. So his thought is to get some backup, get somebody. It would have been smarter to have a pro with him, but race against time, which Deku, you can't really blame Deku because he still has to he did what he has to do. He has to go against time. Just imagine if he actually tried to find a pro and then go there. Tenya would have been dead. So yeah, that would not be a good idea. But at least he's asking for somebody. From the look of the cell phone on his back, and he was trying to buy his time. He's trying to buy time, so therefore Deku's not really gonna fight Stein to beat him or anything like that. Rather, he's gonna fight time. He's gonna fight him to stall in order for backup to come alright. And again, Tenya still screams, just get away. This has nothing to do with him. And then that's where Deku finally responded back in a more heroic way, because again, this is what the hero would do. And don't leave anyone behind, rescue them, save them, and that's the duty. That's how they really are. That's what All Might teach them. And I like the expression that he has a determined face, yet at the same time he's so scared out of his mind, because he's the determination to save his friend beats the fear in him, but you can still see that he's so scared to fight him because this is still new to him. And not only that, he's most likely not as strong. Well, actually, not most likely, because he hasn't controlled All Might. He hasn't controlled One for All perfectly down the pack, get to the point that it would be like All Might level base in terms of usage. So it's really I guess you could call it a suicide mission for lack of better words, a suicide mission that Deku is pretty much putting himself in there. And Stein is very amused by his words, because that's what a hero does. And then that's where Deku starts to go in, and he was about to, and the fight goes on. This is where we see One for All. His entire body comes in. Stein just take a swing, and then he dodges. Deku dodges, and then Deku managed to dodge again, but this time he went straight fast. I can't say he slide, but he pretty much boosts himself very quick, right underneath Stein. He passed through Stein, and Stein still continues to slash. Even did a backslash, which Deku perfectly read that one, which is crazy because, stuff like that, you gotta be quick. And the fact that Stein pretty much said that he vanished, it goes to show you how fast is using One for All entire body could make you. Like, you put it into some of it into your footwork, and then you just do a jump, it'll be like you vanish more so than you're too fast. You're so fast. It's vanish. Vanish is like the quickest thing, the speed of light, as you could say. Then you use the 5% Detroit, right in his face. Got the smash like a comic book style. And yeah, it's pretty good of him. It's really good how he managed to do this so much against Stein, and the fact that his training isn't really done. And he was supposed to do that testing, the whole workplace test moment, and of course it got interrupted. But so far he's doing good, and it really shows promise on how he can. It really shows promise on the series. How far can it go in terms of an action scene? It could be really, really fun. It could be really exciting to see. It can be so highly entertaining as well as well choreographed, which I can't wait to see more of it. But in this case, this is more like this is an early preview of the series potential of when it comes to action. But in this case. So whenever that time comes, it's going to be pretty fun to see. But right now, I guess because of the story is like My Hero Academia, that's pretty much giving you the idea. Everybody's a training. Everybody's a rookie. Makes sense to me. But again, Deku managed to connect them. He felt happy. And unfortunately, that ends there because Stein does his quirk trick, which I guess he's supposed to take the blood of the user, the opponent, I mean, and then he put on his sword. He has to take the blood on his sword, and then that's where the quirk comes to activate, as in make the enemy stay, pretty much stiff, stand still, can't do anything, can't move. I'm not sure that's how it works, or more like, or. Actually, I think it's more like perhaps he gets your. Actually, I think the way how it works, he cuts you. He gets your blood. He licks that blood, and once he licks that blood, that's when his quirk could come and activate. Actually, I think that's the more case. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, actually, I think that is the case. That's most likely the case. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will correct it in the next episode. But anyway, let's get to this review. So after that, this is where the battle ends, which is unfortunate because it was getting really cool, and unfortunately, it just ended short. Though it was still good for what it was, a really solid matchup. And at that point, Stein did give him some respect that he at least actually shows as a hero. So what a hero is. And he's worth keeping them alive, as he say. But the other guys, nah, they deserve to die because they're not so much of a hero. So this is where the great part comes in. It's right towards the next page after what I just said, and out comes not only ice but firepower, and then oh god, we finally get to see who did Deku call, and it was Shoto. Yes, right, Shoto. And it actually asked myself, where is the page of the character popularity poll? Because it was supposed to be a poll. Unfortunately, this one didn't bring it to us. Maybe if I had to search further, I'll probably find out. I do wonder where is the placement of Shoto, because I could try to imagine if he was number one, I could imagine everybody scream, but the fans, I mean, but nevertheless, I do like Shoto, and I'm not only happy he's arrived, but I'm happy that he's using ice and fire, and he seems very confident with that. So it seems like he got his answer going to his mother's place at the asylum, the hospital thing. And it does beg one question: does that mean he was going with Escanor? his father. Oh no, I'm sorry, Esconar. Wrong show. Endeavor. Sorry. Endeavor. Does that mean he was going under him for a nomination thing? It seems like it. I mean, how Shoto got there so quick. And, Endeavor, he was there too. So does that mean that's his candidate? Does that mean that Shoto chose his father? It seems that way. I mean, hell, I could imagine, because he does want him to use more firepower, and now using firepower very, very freely. And not only that, pretty much seems like a better control of it. But remember, he doesn't want to do it unless he gets some closure. And the best part was to go to meet his mother. And it seems like now knowing that he could do fire at his own whim, which he is. That means he probably had the perfect conclusion coming from his mother. And I don't know what's the relationship with his father, but maybe there will be a flashback in the next chapter. Who knows? But definitely solid chapter. I can't wait for the next chapter. This series really needs a green light for the anime very soon. And any year skip will be like skipping 2016 for anime will be a criminal. This chapter of Bleach, well, it's not bad. It's just, well, there's not much to say about this one. It's more that it's the fact that I guess you could say this is like a pre-battle before the real deal begins, which is pretty much shows at the last page. And it's a good thing they did that because, well, going with this series, it could have been worse way to, not to get to the real battle and just keep going with this pre-battle for the next 2 chapters or so. And, with Bleach, it's no stranger to slow pacing. So with this chapter, I guess you could say it kind of surprised me that we got this aspect out of the way. It's because, people don't want to see different strategies. They don't want to see like, ooh, this is a very mystery ways to finish this battle off or something like that. We gotta have swords against swords or, just mano-y-mano style. So, unless it's something different in the next upcoming chapter, but this chapter, not much really to say, really. I can't say I don't like it. I don't think it's all that good, or maybe even good. It's fair. I guess I could say it's fair. Probably because, there's only one focus to this whole aspect of, this monster, which I found out that I forgot the name before. The name was actually, that thing is actually called Pernita. And, last chapter we see his head exploded, or rather expanding. And, Mori and Kenpachi doesn't even understand what's going on. But they know, there's nothing but creepy to these guys. And I guess we finally see Ikaku as well as Yamichika. They were actually back there, not doing their. They felt like they missed their chance to jump in, but then Nimue told them that they're not struggling enough. So because they're still top shape, they're still in their game. They're not like being afraid of this weird whatever that thing is. So that's where the real chapter begins. With the entire. Let's see how we're gonna deal with this. Starting with Kenpachi just straight up going when his arms gets twisted further. Well, actually, he didn't go in. That was the later aspect, to be honest. But this part, his arm gets twisted further, which that's pretty graphic for it's been a while seeing this. Though there is a traditional sense in Bleach world that we have to have the arm getting disposed of, as in get cut off. And there's always the right arm. I think it's always the right arm, right? So, because you know what they say, once you're missing an arm, it's game over. unless you can rock out with other arm if you're not a lefty. That is, it's always the right arm for the if I recall correctly. But yeah, it's still, it was pretty gruesome to see it get twisted further, and then Kenpachi just ripped that arm off. And, they don't understand how does the power work, which that's pretty much the premise of this chapter. Well, how does power work? How does this little thing, how it attacks his enemies? And that's where Mario and Kenpachi just discuss each other, about this, wondering how this power works. And, he pretty much stated that, they should not get close, and he probably found a strategy. Though Kenpachi, of course, how he is. He just wild to the point that he just straight up go to attack with no hesitation whatsoever. And, Kenpachi pretty much straight dash towards that thing, whatever that is. Straight hit it right in the head. And then things about to get worse until Mori ends up stabbing him with his weapon. And you expect Moody end up using on Marty ends up using on the thing, but instead it ended up using Kenpachi, which almost looked like a betrayal scene. But he figured out how that works. So he used Ashishogi Jizo, the Fear Factor 4, that his Shinkai. He used that, and pretty much that thing starts to wake up and scream. From the look of it, scream so loud to the point that if you don't cover the ears, you'll go deaf. So pretty heavy stuff there. And then that's where we get the explanation on how it works, which he finds out that is done by pretty much the way out the attacks. It attacks the nerves of the enemies. Well, actually, it's more like it attacks its nerve itself in order to infiltrate its enemy bodies, and they can control their movement, which is pretty much, it's pretty much the same thing that's not the same thing, but it's based on that whole. If you remember back then with the whole, I think it was called blood. I forgot how it was called. But it's that whole event. It's a Quincy technique, if I recall. It's that thing that where they put the rishi flow directly into their body vessels, and they could drastically increase the attack, defense, whatever it is. Basically, it's like a crazy power boost within the body themselves. So pretty much that's what the whole new attack pretty much based on. Well, not a new attack, but that's how it works. And because he figured it out, then the monster seems to have a heart problem, seems to struggle badly. Tells him, it's good. It's going to be a good time to start using new drugs. I wonder what new drugs he's going to use today on him. He screams in pain, and then it seems like that thing is about to reveal itself, whatever it may be. Might be a person, it might be a more ugly thing, a disgusting looking thing, whatever it is. That's basically where our real battle begins, and that's the end of the chapter. Really, not much to say. It's weird because it felt like at one point there was a lot of dialogues. Actually, it felt like there's a lot of dialogues, but you get through so quickly, and the content itself, I guess you could say, because of a lot of dialogues consist of "Don't worry, I'm not scared. You're scared. No, I'm not. Yes, you are." And the whole explanation how the attack works, and there's a lot of big panel. I don't know if you could call it wasted, but I guess it just went by fast, all because they did the whole exposing the power, and that's really it. It felt. I can't say it felt fast, but it felt like we didn't get anything out of it besides they figured out the power. Now we're about to see something, and that's it. Look, it could have been worse, guys. It could have been stretched to 2 chapters. Just imagine that, 2 chapters just to finally reveal whatever this thing really is. It could have been worse. That's all I can say. All right, One Piece time. Oh wait, no One Piece. All right then. You know what that means. that's it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I am out of here. Okay, yeah, there's no One Piece. No One Piece chapter because why not? No, why not take a break? Order. Anyway, yeah, so that's the end of the episode, really. I can't wait for One Punch Man coming on this October. I really hope it does well. Madhouse, to me, that's Madhouse's greatest challenge. I don't know why, but that's just how I see it. It's the greatest challenge they're ever gonna accomplish. I mean, other series, they do need a good amount of budgets. They do need a great animations, even when some of them don't ask for it because the art doesn't say otherwise. But it's okay. But then they still do it. I mean, they're doing My Love Story. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm still a little bit. I'm amazed they actually picked that series. Not that I'm saying it's a bad series or whatever. It's Madhouse. That's what I'm saying. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody's free to do anything they want to. But that said, they have One Punch Man, like perhaps the hardest challenge they're ever gonna come up to, perhaps the hardest challenge to please the fan, or maybe just the fact they will. If they do this right, I think that it will be such a successful. I even think that the volume will increase like maybe times 4, times 3. I hope, but times 4 it will be something I really wish for. This series definitely deserve more, definitely more of a fan followings. I mean, I think they have been increasing a lot, so maybe not 4 times. That would be more than a lot of series. Actually, 4 times would be like Attack on Titan, but still, I'm hoping a lot more. But anyway, let's not talk. Let's just wait until that time comes. Let's just keep watching the anime that's currently on, and keep reading the manga series that we still follow from this day forward. So yes, I'm done for today. Subscribe this channel if you haven't already. Spread the word. Continue to support, and I appreciate that as the time goes on. So thank you, and I'll see you next time for more Sparda's World podcast. Take care, everyone.